they already feel it. They already feel you. And this is what I've been helping some people do with using human design as a tool, but to reveal the one thing, the one part of you that they're already feeling, so you can use it with intention. And as I go through the process, I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes of how I'm creating these reports, what I'm doing. Essentially, I sit there and I envision for you. I manifest for you in a lot of ways because I want to tune into who you are, the parts of you that are easy, the parts of you that flow effortlessly. I call this your red frequency. And it's often the things that we don't even realize it's so automatic, but it shows up. And that's what I look for. So I want to share with you something that one of the people that I have worked with. So before I pull your chart, I look at your words, what you say, and I really want to get a clear story of who you are, where your values are, what you're going for. And so this is what somebody put on their intake form, and they have a high ticket offer, but they're looking to build a membership. That's where their direction, that's where they're going, and that's the thing that I was going to help them with is what's that red frequency for building this membership? Because they already knew exactly how to do their high ticket offer. It was successful. They're getting clients. They're already leading with that red frequency. But a lot of times when we create a new offer, we need to lead with a different frequency. And so that's what I'm offering here and what I'm helping this person with specifically. So they help people build their email list so that the stuff doesn't end up in the spam box. And oh my gosh, it's so complicated. I need help with that. That is not an area of expertise that I ever choose to want to know. But so what really stood out to me was what she put down here at the towards the end. Unfortunately, many come only after they've had a big drop in their open rates. And then, the fix. And she's helped a lot of people with that. But what she wrote was, I want to start helping people when they're starting their email list. And that was a big clue to me because the person who already has the email list and now is in trouble with it, it's a completely different mindset of where you can meet them. And she has so many awesome things in her design that she can reach from. So I'm doing this based off of my own personal experience. I started a journey about a year ago where I uncoached myself, stripped myself down, found myself, built everything from my strengths, not trying to overcome weaknesses, not trying to add on new habits, new skills. I was 53 at the time. I had a lot. I'm 54 today. I still have a lot. I have so much that I can just build on with what I have already. And the new stuff will just come naturally. I didn't try to fix anything. And so that's based off of kind of my own experience. And I really fell in love with using the centers in human design as a guide because I think of them as all different kinds of energy centers. They all have different flavors and you can see them here. We all have all 9 of them. I mean, even if you don't know what your human design chart is, you could probably think about some of these. Where do I feel the strongest in these versus maybe perhaps not as strong? And it might very well just line up with your chart. That's what happened to me. It totally happens for me. And so I go through and I look at what they have, and she has so many on here. She has the ajna, she has the throat, the identity, the heart, the willpower, the solar plexus, the sacral. And when you have a lot of definition, I have 7 of the 9. So I understand this, at least from my point of view, is that what do you lead with? There's so much that you can do. There's so many things that you have access to. And so last spring, I found Jamie L. Palmer, and she had been doing all this work on leading with different frequency or different centers in your content. She had noticed these trends with all the hundreds of reports that she had created for people she had worked with, and it really resonated with me. So that's what I'm doing is I call it the Ideal Client HD report. And people will tell me, what are you looking to do? And let me guide you in how you can lead in your content. So what I'm honing in on is the red frequency. So think of it this way. If it's foggy out and there's a stoplight, the first color you're going to see is red. So that's good, right? Because you want you to stop. If it's green, you're going to have the go okay. We use red for a lot of these safety measures because like exit signs, stop signs, curbs where you can't park, we use it because it's the color that you can see the furthest away. And that's what this frequency is. It's not everything you do in the heart of the program, because I'm sure she uses all of these centers at some point in the heart of anything that she does. But we're just talking about that first thing that, when you're walking down the mall and you walk into a store and your friend says, what made you decide to come in here? I don't know. Just seemed interesting. That. You got to get them there first before you can start showing all the other things. And you don't have to be bold this way. So I was going through, this is the next thing that I go through is once I figure out who you are, what you're looking to do, then I go through and I create that version. I sit there and I literally manifest like, what are they going through? What are they going to be doing? What's the best way of tackling this? And one of the things that she has as such a superpower is her heart center, her willpower and values. And, only 30% of the population are estimated to have this defined. I don't have it defined, so I totally, and I feel that. So we're talking about this area right here. And what is interesting by her leading from that is because she's looking to help people start their email service. And you have to understand, what are your values? What are you doing with it? What's your purpose with it? And I think about some of the tech values if I were starting my email service from scratch all over, and maybe I could still use these. But, I want everything set up so I don't have to worry about it down the road, because I don't want to maintain this thing all the time, right? I don't mind doing the emails, but the tech that goes into setting it up, that's something that I want a solid foundation. So that could be a value because it's going to help me to stick with it. That's a great thing about values. When you start defining your values, they help you to stick with things. They help improve your willpower to move forward, because not only because you know your why, you start to see how all the whys connect together and help smooth that path for you. When you are somebody like the person that I'm helping here, she has it. She just automatically does it. My sister's the same way. Oh my gosh, she always has willpower. It's easy for her. But for a lot of us, for me, I have to think about it, and I don't think about it a lot of times. I have to have it consciously on my mind. And so this was one of the recommendations that I had made for her. So if we go over, I first talked about, this is an example of the report, and I first talk about where I see everything leading from. And so much of her work so far was leading from the ajna, which if we go back here to the ajna, that's teaching and conceptualizing and analyzing and shifting your beliefs. And if you're doing this with companies that have this established, they totally get it because they've already gone through the crap, right, of their emails landing in spam. It becomes unmanageable, all of that stuff. It makes total sense. But if she's shifting to doing a group thing, that's when the heart and the willpower, because somebody is starting out, they don't even know what the values are that that are options. They might have some idea what their values are, but, so I think of it as like technology values, not values as, they might be the same thing as an individual, but we're talking specifically for the values that you are going to assign to your email list so that it is a success, that you can stick with it, so that you have longevity in it. And so that's what I ended up recommending for her. on this one. And so, it's really cool to see how all of this plays out for each person that I have been working with on some of these things. And, when I'm sitting there, you can tell that as I'm going through it, I'm thinking not just me, but all the other people I know who have zero interest in doing this. I have a lot of people in my life who are just starting to be entrepreneurs. They don't call themselves that. Sometimes they call themselves consultants, or, I'm not sure, I'm dabbling, I'm not really sure what I want. And I know a lot of people who have been in this entrepreneurial game for a while, but yet they haven't started an email list, and they're thinking about it, and it's intimidating, and it freaks you out, and it's so emotionally prohibiting sometimes to be able to move forward. So I think this is going to change for a lot of how she's presenting everything. It's going to change how people come to her. They're going to ease in like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. That makes so much sense. What's the values that I want to put with it? Is it, am I looking at this from a year? Am I looking at this for 6 months? What am I looking to get out of this? And it's a little different than, say, setting a goal. Like, I'm hoping to convert 5 people a month, to make my 10K or whatever it is that you're looking to do. Yeah, that might be part of this, but this is about the system, the values that you're going to put in your system so that you don't have to freaking think about it later on. And I know so many people who respond so well to things like that. And so this is how I approach it. There's a lot of me in what I'm offering you based off of my experience of working with people that I just know, my own personal experience as someone starting up their own business. And I know I would be a great ideal client for her. So, I just wanted to give you a little taste of what it's like for me when I go through and I do these reports.